think you will understand. James.
Thanks, Alex. It's sort of a question really about European values. Does the European Commission believe that European citizens should be allowed to choose whatever clothes they want to wear at a given point? Yeah, thank you.
Let me try to find a concrete angle to your rather general question. I assume you are referring to the very lively and vibrant discussions that we have in a number of member states, where different approaches have been adopted to wearing clothes like the burka or the veil or the burkini. If this is what you have in mind, then let me remind you that the European Union has no competence to legislate on this matter. It is for each member state to determine, subject to the supervision of national courts and the European Court of Human Rights, how they want to regulate the way people live together in their countries. Yes, James.
I have a quick follow-up on that. I mean, as we're sort of talking about the burkini and the veils, I mean, are there any European Commission rules on sort of insisting on secular clothing in the institutions, or could an EU official come into work in a burqa?
We have no such rules in the Commission.
Okay. I mean, just in terms of the principle of the idea, without commenting on the individual cases in individual member states, I mean, does the Commission have an opinion on the right or wrongness of that in terms of the European values? Because I phrased the question in such a way as I hoped you wouldn't mention your competences.
Well, no, I'm not going to wade into these national debates. What we do have is rules on discrimination in the workplace. These are very specific rules that I can talk you through afterwards. It's basically the European Employment Equality Directive, but this is not what you're after, James. You're after a general comment from this podium on what our member states consider to be the right policies on their territories and the way they want to organize how citizens in their countries and how societies live together in their countries. And it is not for the Commission to offer an opinion on this.
Just one last thing, and I'm sorry to everyone about this, but I mean, if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I don't, the European Constitution, at one point there was a line in that saying that the Europe would be based on its Christian heritage, and that was dropped. I mean, in the face of outcry. I mean, are there any sort of moves to resurrect that idea? Any sort of European level moves to safeguard secularism?
James, I'm not aware of any such moves, and I will also not speculate about provisions of a non-adopted European Constitution that was subsequently dropped. So I think we can safely leave it here. So you have already spoken. Is it a follow-up? Then please go ahead.
Short follow-up. I mean, in July, the Commission announced that they were taking action to combat discrimination in the workplace, I imagine, on the grounds of sexual orientation and gender identity. Would the Commission support a similar campaign if there was discrimination against people on the grounds of their religious beliefs? Thank you.
Look, I don't feel comfortable, as you know, answering hypothetical questions with ifs and woulds. I'm looking at my colleagues whether they have a specific comment on this specific case, which is not the case. So I'd like to move on to the next question. A follow-up. Go ahead.
Yes, just on the Commission has felt the need at certain times, or the responsibility to step in, say in Poland, when it comes to a question of democracy. Would the Commission be concerned that a country might legislate in terms of what is good taste or good morals, or what is secularism, for example? Is that something for concern?
Look, this is another question that starts with would. I think I have tried to cover your questions from all different angles. I have